It has been a hot minute since I've made a YouTube video. And I don't know if part of that was me trying to adapt to the scenery change of being in this room and not sitting at my kitchen counter. But also, like, it's been a lot more than that. There's just been a lot of change happening. I would like to try and do a card reading for you tonight. Part of the shift in my content is just that I feel like I'm in much more of a grounded place. I'm not quite getting those lightning bolt transmissions like I was, but I think that is perfectly okay. I think this is part of my journey in just maturing, I guess, as far as how I put myself and my gifts out there. So, in this new chapter, I guess we're recording at night because it is calm at night. And if you've seen any of my videos, you know that they're always done in the morning, but not today. Oh, today is also significant in some kind of way. Let me look it up. So, okay, I've kind of been sitting on some information and I haven't shared with anybody, but I think it was starting last week. I can't remember. There's this kind of weird alignment in the moon cycles where if you track the moon phases, Pepper, if you track, look at him. If you track the moon phases, you know that they don't usually occur like the same day of every week, but for some reason in this month of November, everything is occurring on a Wednesday, which I find fascinating, and I don't think anybody is talking about it. When did it start? Let me see. I think it started October 29th. That was the Aquarius first quarter moon. And then November 5th was the Taurus full moon. Today is the Leo last quarter moon. And then next Wednesday is the Scorpio new moon. And after that, the moon phases start to shift to different days of the week again. And I find that incredibly fascinating, especially in the fact that they're all occurring on a Wednesday, because Wednesday is related to the planet Mercury, which has to do with communication. So maybe it's not a coincidence that I am recording tonight after a long break on the Leo last quarter moon, Leo being expressive and bold and Mercury being about communication. I also have this new card deck. It is called Infinite Door. It is a really beautiful deck. I actually was looking specifically for something that gave like surrealist art vibes, and this definitely does. You'll see that in a moment. I'm going to pull some cards first. Okay, that's a lot of cards. Okay. Okay. I'm capping it at 4. I'm still not super familiar with this deck, so I might have to rely on the book a little bit because the art can speak to you and the message can change, even though, you know, tarot readers follow the archetype of the card meanings. So weird. One of these cards looks like a YouTuber that also reads tarot cards. Look at this. His name is Ram Sun. He looks like this. That's weird. But anyway, let's get into the message for tonight. I hate this. This feels like I'm reading for myself. This always happens. Okay, so the first card that we have is the Page of Wands. So the Wands represents the element of fire. Fire is passion, drive, action. So this is indicating a maturation in your journey as far as whatever it is that you're creating. I apologize. I'm just being triggered by the synchronicities. Sometimes you read cards for yourself on accident. But if this helps anybody, anyway. So the next card that we were given was the Eight of Pentacles. This card right here, the one that looks like Ram Sun. I don't know his real name. I find this interesting because while this is the Eight of Pentacles, it's giving air vibes. You know what I mean? And I was telling somebody this the other day. I was explaining, I was explaining groundedness among the zodiac signs and why, if you are a certain sign, you might feel more grounded unexpectedly around signs you wouldn't think would feel grounding to you. So my example was like being a fire sign or an air sign. There is lots of outward movement, inspiration, kind of being on the cutting edge of like thought and idea. While we view earth signs as very grounded, sometimes the grounding or the being stuck in the patterns represents like fear of breaking the cycle, fear of making the change. So if you yourself are possibly an air sign who has ever been in a relationship with an earth sign, you might have thought to yourself, I need this person, I need this grounding, I want to borrow what they're doing. But you could feel like destabilized in your own energy if they're not following your thought patterns. And I'm not going to say that everyone's going to follow all of your thought patterns, but it's just even the idea of like entertaining possibility. So what I want to say about this is that you are coming into a new cycle of abundance because of your ability to entertain possibility. I saw this video recently and it was called, the guy said, it was like a short reel. He said, Delulu is the Salulu, and I immediately knew what he was talking about. I was like, oh my God, this is so true. Like, along the course of our lives, we've adopted all of this practical advice about how to be stable or successful. But the funny thing is like, when you see people who are successful, they're not necessarily doing that. They're sometimes just doing weird shit. Like, they're finding their niche. They're like, yeah, I got this really weird talent and I guess I'm just going to share it with people, or this like super niche interest. And the thing is, it's like whatever you are very passionate about, whatever draws energy, like that is where your success is, not necessarily in the traditional ways that we are coached into believing you should adopt X, Y, and Z to become successful. And I was thinking about this in my car earlier this morning, where it's just not going to be very helpful for you to, if you see somebody who's being successful, use that as inspiration, like, oh, they're doing something, they're getting results. But it would probably be very not helpful for you to adopt exactly what they're doing, right? Because what they're doing should be based on their energy and interests. And you kind of just need to find that thing for you. And that's kind of the concept of sustainable energy. As far as like emotional life and like living life and stuff. But, so I want to talk about this thing in the background that goes on in your head. So if you are maintaining a job because you believe that you need this job for safety, for stability, for success, but it is draining you on the inside, and you are kind of trekking up to the finish line and it just feels like it's taking forever, right? Because you're not necessarily in alignment with your energy. You're not in a system that is circulating energy, it's draining energy. And there's this part of you in the back of your head that is doing calculations about how much longer you can actually maintain this. And that part of you that's doing the calculations, it's assuming that if I try to do something else, I'm going to be drained. I don't have the energy to start something new. And you might need a reset period. You might very much need a reset period before you start the new thing. But when you start the new thing, it's not going to be from the old energy. Like, you will find the energy again. You will find the energy that you thought was gone forever because you've aged or health or this or XYZ. Like, I'm just trying to explain, you can't see that yet, right? You cannot see that because you're operating from this safe framework, but this safe framework isn't necessarily sustainable. It's not something you can keep doing. And finding like what is sustainable for your energy is the thing that is going to bring you success and happiness. I don't know why this is where that went, but this is where that went. There's another Pentacles card, and to me, it's the Seven of Pentacles, and it's these juicy grapes. And I think it's just kind of in line with what was said, like yielding that like sweet success or the fruits of your labor, like something that feels good in your very real energy. And the trajectory is nothing but good vibes. Like, I'm getting community in the Sun card. Like, you guys are generating energy together. It's even better because it's recirculating, okay? It's even better because it's recirculating. Dang, that made me really excited. Okay. So, I'm just gonna end it here. That was like a whole loop. I was not expecting this video to go on. But I would just say that, like, wherever you are in this new venture, like, just trust the vision, all right? Because desire is the blueprint for reality, okay? And you need to trust that. And you are the one building the blocks to your new reality. All right. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. This channel is called the Soft Life Oracle. My name is Ariel Wright Yvonne. If you are interested in subscribing to my newsletter, you can click on my page. Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen with this channel, but I'm a little bit excited. And I'm excited for you and whatever the heck this is. Okay, have a good night.